And welcome to Ben's Junk Yard, because I'm pretty sure Archive HQ is going to resemble, more so than usual, a junkyard by the time I'm done shooting this video. But anyway, I've always got a backstory for this stuff, and here's this backstory. I have been trying to live stream on I guess you could say a regular basis. Of course, by my standards, that means a few times a year. I mean, the current target is, say, maybe 6 times a year, once every other month. I think that's not, too unrealistic and not too common. I don't want to do it every week or a couple times a week. I think that would just be overkill, and my live streams aren't the most exciting things in the world in the first place. But anyway, over the last year or so, I've just been trying to polish it, I guess you could say. I want it to look decent. I want it to sound decent. I want it to be technically reliable on my end. And there is one thing that I would just really like to do in a live stream on a fairly regular basis, but have not been able to do. And that is run analog video, not transfers of, but actual analog video straight from VHS or Betamax, or maybe I want to do a gaming thing straight from that original 30-plus-year-old console if I can. So with that in mind, a few months ago I had to, out of necessity, do a live stream where I was testing out a device to run direct feed of analog video. And it was this little thing from Blackmagic. And I think it was more my computer and my internet connection that made it fail. Because my internal tests, as it were okay. But when I tried to add YouTube and just internet to the equation, it failed miserably. Everything was just kind of like 3 frames a second, or just a continual still frame, or just total blackouts. Blackouts on what should be a very stable video source, like a laser disc. And so, yeah, that was a failure. Out the door that went. And so my strategy has become, well, maybe I'll try and do the inverse, because I was trying to do it in really good quality too, with the whole Blackmagic deal. But I figured, well, this isn't going to replace my normal transfers, the kind of stuff that I post to Archive Annex. This is just so I can run it during a live stream. Say I'm trying to screen something, just with friends, as it were. My friends being you viewers, my imaginary friends. Yeah, just that sort of thing. But I decided to take the opposite approach. It doesn't have to be transfer, true transfer quality as far as I'm concerned, but it needs to be discernible. And so I went looking for, okay, what's the cheapest thing I can use? And the only qualifier was that it had to be known Mac friendly, because most of my setup is on Apple stuff. I know there's a lot of people that don't like that, but it's just it's what works for me. So the cheapest thing I could find, and it was still, I think, 55 bucks or so, was this little thing from ClearClick. And it's like the Blackmagic. It's not much to look at. It's just this little metal box and a USB on the end, and the whole thing is just hardwired. But on the front here, we got our inputs, composite, S-video, and even HDMI. And then we have a stereo audio. More on that later. But full disclosure, I have done some testing, even live streaming, just private live streams, just to make sure things work enough that I'm not just completely wasting my time. And so far, so good. But with that in mind, I am going to try and do, partially show you the results of existing tests and just finish up the tests that I have not done with this thing with regards to live streaming. Do a private live stream, download it for my own use, and put it into this video at the end. But anyway, Before I get to that, I should note that there are some quirks. I mentioned the whole quote-unquote stereo thing. There is no stereo audio to this. It's just a cute thing. It's really dual mono. And also, I have found that the unit did come with, well, these things never come with manuals anymore. It's always download the damn thing. But it came with this adapter because most of my gear is still USB-A. I do have some USB-C stuff. But I figured, okay, I'll just pop it on and yeah. Nope. And I had some spare ones of these kicking around too. And nope. This thing either needs to be run directly into the computer or it needs, in my case, a fully powered Thunderbolt hub to work properly. So that adds another bump in the road to my setup, but what else is new? And indeed, let's take a cut here and I'll split the rest of the video between tests with this thing and just showing what my current, as of February 2024, live stream setup is. And it's a little more junk heavy than I would like, but it's what seems to be working at the moment. So yeah, I'll take a cut here and we'll just see where it goes. All right, this is my attempt at just a lay of the land of what a live stream looks like from my perspective. It's actually a little more spread out than this, and if I'm running a monitor, an actual TV screen for something, I will use my PVM because I like it to be period correct for the stuff that I run, but just for demo purposes, it's running through my everyday flat screen. And indeed, when I have to use the PVM, I need to just point the camera, which is just actually my phone. I just point the camera at the TV, and then for TV audio, I just have a little USB microphone that's hooked up. And speaking of microphones, the one I'm usually talking into is a lavalier, which I have just set down on the table there, my little TV tray. So anyway, this, as I was getting at, is just intended to be kind of a general lay of the land of stuff that I do in a live stream. So for a video source right now, I've got my Laserdisc player, bottom right part of the shot, running, and that is running via S-Video to the ClearClick. Now, the ClearClick does not do stereo. In spite of the red and white audio jacks, it's actually dual mono. So if I am just intent on stereo and say I'm doing Laserdisc stuff where invariably it is stereo, if I want to retain that, I have to run it through a separate mixer, which I just use my little Behringer mixer, which usually gets used for Part 15 broadcasting, Sergei's Catacomb of Classics, that sort of thing. So, yeah, and I should note with regards to that Behringer mixer, say I'm going to sit in with Found Footage Fest for one of their VCR party live streams, and they want me behind the box and kind of as close to my usual set as possible. I can run my Rode NT1 microphone, the one I normally use on a regular whole number archive episode, into that, and I can still have things as normal as possible with that. Now, the reason I'm doing all this on a laptop is because I need the space. I've mentioned before that my desktop is actually in the bedroom, and it's not a big bedroom, and it also doubles as my regular set. That's where the bookshelf is. And there's just not enough room to set up all this extra junk. So I gotta do it here in my hybrid living room laboratory sort of deal. So otherwise, let me just try and run down my general setup, and I may have to just go over to the computer and just do one of those QuickTime recordings and just talk right into the computer. But yeah, this is a MacBook Pro that I picked up used last year. It was, I think, 5 years old at the time. And my rationale was, well, a new decent MacBook Pro is $3,000 or $4,000. I can get a 5-year-old one for about $400. And yeah, I'll have to replace it every, say, 5 years, but I'd rather spend $400 every 5 years than $4,000 every 10 years. That's kind of where I'm coming from on that one. Now on that laptop, I am running OBS Studio, which is the program I use to communicate with YouTube to do live streams. And I really like it. It lets me run anything I want that's hooked up through it, and I can turn it on and off and adjust the volume, or if it's a video thing, I can tweak the saturation, tweak the color, sharpen it a little if I want to, and it works well. Now, with regards to the ClearClick, everything looks oversaturated on screen. It's not really going to show in this shot, but I found that it actually is correct. It's just kind of how my screen is. And indeed, if I run the Calibar, bottom left part of the shot, I don't have it hooked up, but my little test pattern generator, the color is right on target. And if I do a test live stream and I look back at it, the color seems to be about right where it should be within reason. I mean, we're not going to get perfection. And indeed, I have the ClearClick only set to run 480p. Now, I can go full high def, but in the name of conserving bandwidth and all that sort of thing, and given that I'm dealing with older video anyway, I think 480p is perfectly suitable. If anything, the last time I live stream, I did the whole thing at 480. I might kick it back up to 720 next time, see if everything holds together. So anyway, I'm off track here. The setup is computer, and to the computer is a Thunderbolt hub, and it's a fully powered Thunderbolt hub. So that is doubling as the computer's power right now. And into that hub, I have just a cheapy dongle, which, because there's only one USB-A, original USB type port on that thing. But most of my stuff is still old-fashioned USB-A, and otherwise that thing is USB-C and Thunderbolt and all that. So I got the little dongle going in there, and I have stuff that just isn't demanding running into it. The mouse, the fan for the laptop, the 2 microphones that I've already mentioned, and then otherwise the ClearClick is running USB-C / Thunderbolt straight into the hub, and the one and only USB-A port on that is the Behringer mixer. Now, I can also run into that hub or directly into the computer if I'm so inclined. I can run my iPad there. It's not hooked to anything right now. But if I want to just mirror some internet footage or run something straight off of, say, the Archive Annex channel, I can do that via the iPad if I am so inclined. And I've mentioned that my phone, my regular phone, is my main camera when I do a live stream. So otherwise, anything else technical I would have to say about my setup, I think is going to be better served at the computer, doing an on-screen recording, direct feed sort of deal, QuickTime. So I'm going to do that, and we will conclude with the results of my tests, some of which, as of my shooting this, I have already done, and some that I still need to do. I'll run footage of that to show the results of the ClearClick, and as it stands, I think I'm gonna be able to introduce it. It's not perfect, but it's a lot more reliable than what I had. Of course, famous last words. Everything could go completely south on me before I finish making this. But anyway, let me take another cut here and we'll pick things up right in the computer. And here we are in the computer. Ooh, nice and nerdy. And we've got OBS running here, and I'll just kind of take you through my general setup. So since this video is ostensibly about the ClearClick, let me just turn that back on. And it's just video at the moment, and of course a video standard, one of my old standbys. Now I can turn on the audio too, but you're not going to hear a thing because I'm only recording my lavalier mic right now. But everything does work, so we'll just have imaginary full stereo audio going. But let me turn that back on. At least you can see the VU meter working, so you know that stuff is actually happening. All right, we'll turn that off. And my regular camera for this is my just my phone, my normal old everyday smartphone. So if I turn that on, it's just kind of a random shot right now. But there you go. And there is no zoom or anything with regards to OBS when it's running remote link to my phone. So I would have had to have set up my phone in advance for a better shot. And there's, thanks to QuickTime, a delay, like 3 seconds. So if I stick my hand in front of the camera now and pull it back now, like a 2 or 3 second delay there. But anyway, I guess for audio, I do have that microphone in front of the TV there. I suppose I can just go ahead and turn that on and crank the volume and have it just bleed into my lavalier.
3D without the glasses. Ooh.
More dialogue would be nice.
Could we get all the cameras on the chip chart, please? Ravi, I want it gray, no color. Recheck cameras with house bar.
All right, so hopefully we're able to pick that up. You should certainly see it on the VU meter there. And I should note that I can like right-click stuff, hit Advanced Audio Properties, and decide whether or not I actually want to hear it during a live stream, depending on what it is. But we'll kill that mic in front of the TV. We'll kill the camera. Now, just for a lark, I do have my iPad hooked up, and I do have a video from Archive Annex running. But because of all the computer power that the QuickTime thing is using right now, the resources, it's probably just going to be a total mess. But it's not normally like that, and I have run stuff off my iPad. Yeah, it's just a garbled mess right now. But like when I live streamed from Minnesota this past summer, I was using the iPad and just stuff off of Archive Annex for pre-show. I didn't make a playlist ahead of time. Otherwise, I've got stuff here I don't even use anymore, like the Black Magic, so I could get rid of that. I could turn on the webcam, but I'm sitting right in front of it right now, so I'd rather not do that. This would be a really dumb time for a face reveal, wouldn't it? I do like this, VLC. I can run the VLC shareware program, and if I double click on it, I've still got some stuff from previous escapades, but I can loop a playlist, shuffle. I have the option of how it works when I turn the visibility of VLC on and off. And if I still add stuff in there, that means I'm still probably in the right folder too. We'll give it a minute. Yep. All right, well, I will just arbitrarily pick a couple of things here. And we'll just see what it gives us. Just hit OK, turn it on. And I think it's going to be Cal Worthington. No, it's going to be the Chevrolet thing. Now, I can hear the audio from this starting up, but you're not going to. But it is indeed running. This is a dead side from a DiscoVision disc. But if I click on VLC just once, I can kind of scan through and everything, but it messes with the sync when I do that sort of thing. So I just have learned to leave it alone. Now I can go ahead and jump to the next thing. So that should be Cal Worthington, yeah, from 1979. And I can just shut the whole thing down. I can either hit the stop button or turn it off from the source list, which is what I've done. And on ClearClick, I keep things just at 480. I can go full-blown high def with it, but given the age of the material and just in the name of keeping the resources of the computer happy, it's just easier to keep it at 480. If I want to do a proper transfer, I will, and I'll post it separately. But really, that's kind of all there is to that. So otherwise, let's get back to the ClearClick side of things. I'll just turn it back on for a lark here. But the remainder of this video is going to be my tests, and what you're really going to be seeing are recordings of private live streams I've done through YouTube and have just downloaded trying to gauge things. So say running a crappy EP mode VHS tape and having the audio running through the Behringer mixer, even if it's not actually in stereo, just to see if everything stays in sync during a live stream, that sort of thing. So otherwise, that's going to be it for me on the vocal front for today. Any further comments I have will be in text form, and otherwise I will talk to you again soon. It's getting kind of late here.
Well, you still are. I just bought myself a new swimming suit tonight.
Oh?
Yes. See?
That? I'll get off work in 10 minutes.
Follow me out then.
Follow you? Listen, I can change clothes and beat you out there.
If you could just talk to me, if I could just call you on the phone, would you give one more chance to a fool?
Who are you? How do you know my name?
Thanks. Now listen, Colonel, I don't want to have any trouble with you. Now here's a chair, folks, that anyone might be proud to own. Look at this magnificent piece of furniture. Do you mean to say you offer me 50 cents? Yes, sir. 50 cents for this fine piece of furniture. Do I hear $1?
Oh, Judy, how about me and you having a drink?
Jerry, be careful.
That's all I mean.
Come on, old man. You've had one too many. Better go home and sleep it off.
You think I'm drunk, eh?
Well, what do you think?
Here's what I think.
I apologize. You're not drunk.
think my collarbone's broken.
Here, let me help you.
How did you get here?
Well, we came looking for you, and we were both so worried that we didn't know what to do.
No.
Verizon's the one that their RF engineering staff is the one that identified the need to place this facility here, and the need is for capacity. There's Southside's right there on the edge of the airport. So.
Good. Any other questions? Good. Okay.
So you thought I looked like the kind of a girl that would let a stranger buy her $500 present?
If you don't want it, throw it in the first ditch you come to.